Hello and welcome back to Coffee Infused Crypto. Very exciting episode today, guys. We're gonna discuss Bitcoin. We're gonna go back to what we said yesterday. We're gonna check what happened and stick to the end because I'm gonna share with you a trade that I have just opened. This is not as in a signal, it comes as in sharing with you the mind process of how to look at things and when to open a trade. Okay, I open very little trades, okay, that is in midterm and swing trades, but I almost always tend to make sure that I have winning trades. So I do my due diligence. I'm very picky in opening a trade, and I have to have a certain criteria to be met, and I'm gonna share all of those with you today in one example in a particular trade. So stick till the end. But before that, we are gonna discuss Bitcoin on the short term and on the macro. And definitely today is the end of the month, so we're gonna take a view about this or have a look about the monthly close. And this is very important. So grab your cups of coffee. Let's deep dive into Bitcoin. So on the shorter time frames, first, as we were discussing yesterday, this is the 4-hourly. If you remember from our yesterday's video, and this is very beautiful. I mean, this played out. Of course, we had two options. Of course, we had a probability of equal probabilities here because this is an asymmetrical triangle. You know, we got rejected on from the top end or top side, and we got supported by the bottom, and we had equal chances to break in any direction. And we said that in yesterday's video, and we mentioned that if we broke this to the downside, which actually we did, we have the golden zone and we have the $26,781 or $26,800. So 0.5, 0.65, which is aligning by, you know, the target, our first support, and we mentioned those in yesterday's video. And to see how technical analysis plays beautifully, if we take this here from the from the top to the bottom, and we move it to the place where we broke out, I mean, look, technically this candle was equal, like this one was technical play being played to the dollar. And then of course in the golden zone we went deeper into the golden zone, approaching the 0.65 by taking this swing low from here to the swing high, and definitely we revisited the 0.65. When I am in the 0.65, I am technically neutral, because I know any move, any impulsive move to the upside has a higher probability of coming back and retesting 0.65. So I don't change my stance, okay, unless I break or we break the 0.65 and then we flip. So from here on, we had a nice green candle here, but still we have to be cautious because we're gonna discuss on the weekly and the monthly as well. So generally we have this moving trend or the resistance coming up from the top, and currently we broke this support here and went into our golden zone. I've seen a lot of people tend to put too much on their chart, so like I do right here, right? So this is something like I've seen like 90% more indicators and supports on the chart. I'm gonna show you how simple things are. So simplicity and elegance in your chart is all that you need. So take a look at this chart with me. So this is a naked Bitcoin chart. First, I want to analyze Bitcoin. Where is Bitcoin? So on the weekly moving averages, we are still above the 200 weekly, which is 26,225 currently, the red line, and over the 20 weekly moving average. So those are vital weekly moving averages, right? That taken into consideration, see this last week where we got supported by the 20 and by the 200, and currently they are both below us, providing us support on the weekly. Makes me a little bit okay and a little bit neutral and not in fear, of course, because I still have those supporting us. Those are very, very important. Okay, another thing, and all that you need, if we just take a look at the moving averages, we have an idea and we remove them. This is all you need. Like on a weekly and on a daily stance, this is all you need. You need to identify, okay, the base. Okay, so you need to identify, let's go to the daily so that you can see this on a lower time frame. So I need to identify the base where we wicked at around this area, and we wick top at around this area. So that would be the base support. Okay, that would be the base or the resistance, the sloping resistance, and this would be my triangle, and the red line would be my swing high, this swing high from this area. So I have two buffers and I have a trend line which is acting as a resistance. So that's all that I need. And with those combined, I have this being around this area acting as a resistance, and this zone acting as a support, where I have like two supports. I'm gonna remove magnet so that we can move this to the upside. So this one is a support, first zone, and the second one is our swing high from the lower zone. So this triangle here is all the data that I need currently, and I'm trading, okay, but within this. So this triangle is a bearish triangle. Okay, so just for you know, probabilities of this to break to the downside are higher than the probabilities of this breaking to the upside. So it's a 60-30 probability, but again, we are in a probability zone, so nothing is 100%, but we always just tend to look at probabilities. So here we have this breaking to the downside having a higher probability, but remember the moving averages on the weekly. So remember the 26,000, remember the 25,200. So those levels, the 20 moving average weekly, the 200 weekly moving average are right below us, and the swing high from this area is as well gonna act as a support. Plus this buffer or this zone is the orange one is gonna act as a support. So having those two weekly moving averages below us make me a little bit okay about being confident with the zone below us. Okay, so again, it's a game of probabilities around this area. Bitcoin is showing weakness. We got like 1, 2, 3 rejections, more than 3 rejections around this. But if we break this to the upside, it's gonna be an impulsive move. It's gonna be something like mind-blowing. It's gonna shift a lot of momentum. But before that, I wouldn't flip that bullish on the short term. On the long term, you know me, guys, always bullish. So we might go back, retest 25,200, but risks to reward. Okay, so coming back, retesting here, this would be the risk, like what, $2,000 from this area. So I build my strategies based on this. So risk to reward, 2,000 to the downside. If we go to the upside, we can easily revisit 28,000, 29, and 30,000. So that's like 3, 4, 5,000 on the short time frame to the upside. So risk to reward makes more sense for me to stay neutral with a shift of bullishness. Of course, I'll flip bullish when we kick the 28,300. So we break this and then we take the 28,300 level. Then I will flip more bullish. I will flip extreme bullish if we take this high, the 30,000. So I have my target set in my head. Okay, so I've seen Bitcoin, very simple, very clean, and this will indicate where we would be moving. Again, I can add one more thing, the fixed range. So I can take the fixed range and I want to check, see, tells me a lot. So the fixed range of this area will tell me a lot. It will tell me that my value area low is around this area, the blue line here at the bottom, and look how nicely we respected the value area low, and it definitely will act as a support. Our point of control is what we were resisted and rejected at, and our value area high is above our trend line here. So technically, if we tend to move here to reach the value area high, we would have broken the trend line. So in a move to the upside, and let's say we broke instantly to the upside, this would resist us. So I would expect something like a move to here, coming back, retesting here, and wait for a support at around this area, and then I can fire a long or a buying order. So that would be in a move to the upside. Those two, this indicator plus a couple of moving averages were more than enough to analyze Bitcoin on the short time frame. So again, on the daily, and which we are, if we flip the moving averages, we notice that other than the point of control, we have the this is the 50 moving daily moving average. So even on the daily, we are supported by the 20-day moving average, the 100-day moving average right below this candle. So those are the very short-term supports, and the 50 is above us where we got rejected at. So we have a lot of moving averages daily and weekly below us and right below us. That's why a move of 3 or 4% and being held and retesting those levels are more than okay for me. And again, if we go to the weekly and just monitor the 20-week moving average and see how we actually, let's remove the drawings and keep the resistances. So the 20 is in white. Okay, so I want you to just monitor how the 20, ever since we broke here, we come back, we retest. We said this before. So we moved. This is the love-hate relationship, if you remember. And we come back, we retest. This time we retest the 20 plus the 200. So we have a double support. Like this is a cement support on the weekly. So even here, notice whenever we break the 20, it's just a matter of time that we come back and retest, grind above it, and then if it supported us, it slingshots us to the upside. So here we broke it, slingshot to the upside, very impulsive move, always come back. See, here we reacted, first candle here, second candle, like we had an impulse, then third, fourth, and this is on the weekly. So we grinded for a month over it, and that led for us to break it. Then came back, tried to, see here, then didn't succeed, we broke it. And this, the 100 supported us. So just observing the moving averages here, notice that every time we break the 20 week, we tend to come back and retest. Look at this area. We broke to the upside, came back, retested, came back the other week, retested, and then slowly but surely kept moving to the upside, came back here as well for a couple of weeks. So it always in an uptrend, it always keeps our side. We slingshot a bit above it and then come back. So always expect us to come back. Always keep an eye on the 20-week moving average. Now for the monthly, and then I will jump to a trade that I opened, which I told you about earlier. So on the monthly, guys, this is what I was talking about. Keep an eye on this candle. This is a bearish macro candle. So this is an engulfing bearish candle. So when we have a bigger red candle, all right, covering the green, the previous one, so it's engulfing it, technically has a higher probability of us having a dip on the short term, and this is the monthly. So a short term would mean a month or two. So this we'll have to wait and see how would the month end. So we started right here, and then this month was at a loss. So technically speaking, whenever we have such a pattern where we have a red candle bigger than the one before, for example, notice how we tend to have so I have a probability of the next month to be even, in red as well. Just something to add to your calculations. But see here, we had a green candle, we had an engulfing candle, but that didn't matter much. So again, it's a game of probability, but usually we tend to, or we want to have, this is a trend, a momentum shift, to say the least. So we expect to have a retest maybe to the 25,000 area, and that can, flip and give us momentum to go back and eventually break the 31,500, which is the 20-month moving average, and this is the like the end goal. So getting this moving average means we just got all the previous lower time frame moving averages. So with that being said, with me taking Bitcoin into consideration, analyzing where we are currently on the daily and the weekly and the monthly and everything said before, all right, noticing that us being here, us being in the golden pocket here, which we came back and retest, and expecting a bounce in the golden pocket, I have a list of coins that I always keep track of, and this is not a financial advice, of course. So I'm just sharing you the mind process of how I start analyzing Bitcoin and then jump into some of my projects that I keep track of, that I admire or I find potential in. So by just looking at the list of coins, I notice a minus 13.5% in conflux. So by flipping this, going to the hourly, doing this, and this is something I shared with the community. So let's take a look on the 15 minutes. This is a short-term analysis, and based on what we saw in Bitcoin, based on us being in the golden zone in Bitcoin, and first look at this. This is the impulsive Elliott wave ending at here, at the fifth wave of the fifth Elliott wave ending, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I noticed this at around this area, minus 13%, with Bitcoin status being in the golden zone and having this discounted value on this. So I jumped into a trade at this area, the 0.2795. After this here neckline was broken, so I set my buying order here, right at the top of this. So I did set my buying target here, and this is the target where I would take profit. Why? Because again, following the theory of whenever we move from the upside to the downside, let me grab the brush here. So whenever we move from the upside to the downside and find a bottom, we most probably and usually tend to come back and visit the 0.5 to the 0.65, which is the golden zone. So as soon as we touch this area, I would be more than happy to just take profit on a short-term swing trade. Okay, so having minus 13% on a coin, which is like already down, which negate a lot of risk to reward. That doesn't mean it can go another 13%, but this is where risk management comes in play. So I didn't bet all of my farm in this trade, and I didn't just margined all of my position. I just did the proper risk management, trying to grab this swing from this area to this area, with all the macro analysis of Bitcoin being taken into consideration. I hope this was helpful in the mind process of how to look for trades and how to take advantage of a dip in a market to your advantage, of course. That's everything for today. I hope you enjoyed your coffee and find the content helpful. If you did so, please do share this video with someone you love, subscribe, and leave a comment, because this will help the algorithm and the growth of this channel. Thank you so much, guys. I will see you tomorrow as always, and don't forget, tomorrow DCA time is the beginning of the month. We're gonna follow up on the DCA strategy that we had, or we have been doing for the past 4 months now, and see how did we perform so far. Very important episode for people who don't want to be into technical analysis and they just want to invest in the market in the safest form possible, which is dollar cost averaging without even looking at charts or prices. So this will help a lot of people being investors in the crypto space. I will see you tomorrow. Stay safe until then. Bye-bye.